Hey guys, welcome back to my Ableton journal. A couple of years ago, I really struggled with creating FX sounds. You know, those like special effect hits that goes in between all the different sections that sort of glues your whole track together. Well, back in the day, I would spend ages and ages just digging through sample packs, trying to find these perfect little sounds, not really knowing what I was going for. And that process in and of itself was pretty tedious, and it made me kind of resent or not want to work a lot on FX at all, really. And it wasn't until around a year ago, 2 years ago at this point, that I was taught this really nice little trick that just makes the whole process a lot more intuitive, and it also makes it more just fun to play around with and see what kind of sounds you can get out of your project. And for this example though, I'm using one free plugin, which is called Valhalla Massive. It's a delay plugin. And I'm using a simple MIDI keyboard. This is my sturdy old Akai MPK Mini, the MK1 version. And I do highly recommend you get yourself a little MIDI keyboard with some knobs like this. Because for this example, we're going to be mapping out some of the parameters we're going to be tweaking to these knobs, and it definitely comes in handy. I mean, you can definitely do it without the MIDI keyboard as well, but if you don't have one at this point, bear with me, you can still follow along, and if you have one, great. Then I'm going to show you this really nice little technique I've been working with. So without further ado, let's jump straight into Ableton. All right, so here we are. For this example, I've created this pretty, I wouldn't say intense, but it's pretty textured. So before we do anything else, well, let's just take a listen to what I got so far. Okay, so you get the idea. I feel like the track is already pretty solid already, but what I'm definitely missing is some in-between hits that goes like in between every 16th bar. This is the way I arrange my tracks usually. I just go by 16ths. 16 and 16 and 16 bars. And for the breakdown, I was thinking like it sounds pretty cool already. Like as I have an interesting chain of effects on my main reverb send, shifter with a slight delay, OTT to bring it up a bit, and then just a slapped on slink there. But we can do better than this, and I'm going to show you how I would do it. So the first thing I advise you to do is you get a new audio track and you set it to, let's see, resample. And this way, when we record enable this track, and then we're gonna play through, I think, our entire 32 bars here and just record that. So let's do that. Yeah, there we go. So here we have our resample audio, and then we're gonna go ahead and create a new MIDI track, which is Shift Command T or Control Shift T if you're on Windows. Then let's go in here and load up Granulator. Now I am using Granulator 3, but you can also use Granulator 2 if you still have that. This is still gonna work. The parameters are very much the same, but I prefer Granulator 3. Now what you're gonna do, take the resample audio and just drop it into Granulator, and then we can hide this for later, or you can just delete it. It doesn't really matter. The next thing you do is you go into Granulator and you hit Command or Control M to bring up the MIDI mapping. And then I would advise you to map out position for one knob, take scan on one knob, grain size, and then if you want, you can take I like variation. So after we've done that, we're gonna take Valhalla Supermassive, like I talked about. And essentially, you can now play your resample audio. And since we have everything mapped out, we can start playing around with this. And now, when we enable Valhalla again, and you can see instantly we're getting some really interesting results. The next thing is going to be to create another audio channel. And let's call this ResampleFX. And then we're going to set Granulator as our input. Mute the output of this channel because we don't want to double up our audio. And then it's just a matter of actually jamming and playing over your track with these. Just trying out a bunch of different positions. If you want, you can also play around with the presets in Valhalla. If you find some sounds you really like. So I do advise you to try and just jam around on top of your track. Let's see what that sounds like. You see, so now I'm kind of getting a feel for where my sweet spots are in terms of where the different knob positions are going to be. And I'm saying this to myself also, but not all the sounds you're going to be creating is going to sound super nice and be a great match. But that's okay, because the way we've set things up right now, we can just, when we've recorded one passage, we can always just duplicate this track and do another one. And you can also solo out different parts. If you want to just like more percussive sounds, for instance, you can do only the drums or only your hi-hats or only your synths. Now, I am realizing that this example, this beat that I've created already is already pretty noisy. So it is kind of hard to hear what's going on here, but still hopefully you'll get the idea. So let's just record some takes here and see where that takes us. And it can also be cool to just mess around with the delay plugin as well. So we have a bunch of small takes here and a bunch of effects. At this point in time, it's just a matter of placing FX hits where you want. You can go ahead and add some reverb maybe. And doing it like this is going to ensure that the FX sounds that you generate are going to be cohesive, meaning it's going to sound like they exist in this same tonal universe that the rest of the track does, because you're essentially just repurposing the sounds that you've already created and creating new sounds out of it. One thing when you're editing these sounds, it's I find it often to be beneficial to just mute the entire track with your newly created FX sounds. And then when I'm listening back, I'll just sit and try and get a feel for like, oh, where do I want some more interest? So for instance, I have this this second part before the breakdown. And what? Down, taka taka down, 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 something in this area. And then, since we're working with audio, it's just really simple. You can go in to your audio clip. You can hold, it's Alt and Shift. This is for both Mac and Windows. And then this hand is going to pop up. And then you can just browse through the audio file like this and see whenever some waveform is going to come up. And you can easily just slip through them and find sounds that you like. When I'm doing this, I also really like to turn off the grid, and you can do that by hitting Command or Control 4 on your keyboard. These grid lines are going to be dotted, which means you're not going to be snapping to the grid, which for these more organic kind of sounds, this can be really nice as well. And we can always go in and just drag up the volume. And it's super simple to just make some small cuts here and there. Find the pieces that you like and place them intuitively. And now I want to cut here, for instance, and then I can already tell from the waveform that there's something going on here. I'm not sure if it's going to sound nice or not, but that's part of the process also. And just like trying to find these little ear candy pieces that you easily now can just slap out across your entire arrangement. So I'm going to go ahead and complete this, and we can take a listen to the final result. Okay, so I've made some quick edits here, and let's just take a listen to how it sounds. I feel like for the breakdown especially, it's these kind of like small sounds that really help glue things together. Because if we mute them, yeah, this is definitely a big improvement to my ears. And yeah, hope you found this useful. So if you like this little tutorial, I would really appreciate it if you could give me a thumbs up on the video. And if you want more content like this, please subscribe. If you have any questions at all, just let me know in the comments. If there's anything that's unclear, let me know. Also, if you have other questions regarding the tools I've used or my process, don't hesitate to hit me up. And lastly, for those of you who really want to dive deeper on this on a more personal level, I am currently offering one-on-one Ableton live coaching, mainly geared towards people who want to improve their techno production skills. I have been producing music for close to 15 years at this point, and I love to help people overcome creative roadblocks to make them be able to create the music that they have in their head. If you're interested in learning more about this, I'll leave a link at the very bottom of this video where you're going to get more information, and you can also book a free 30-minute call with me to see if we're a good fit. Thanks a lot for watching, and I see you in the next video.